You're just in time for another eBay unboxing. And yeah, I'm wearing my antique handling gloves, the kind that Dr. Lori wears. So mine has holes in it. I'm not rich like she is. And if anyone wants to donate a nice pair of antique handling gloves, let me know in the comments below. They're probably like $5 or less, maybe even less than that, because they're made in China and you get them on Amazon. All right, let's go ahead. You might be saying, buy your own freaking gloves, you weirdo. Why do you have to wear gloves? Well, I'll be honest with you. It's not about handling the antiques. It's because I didn't feel like polishing my nails once again. I think this is day 8 of not polishing my nails. All right. It's a pain in the ass to be a woman. All right, here we go. Don't know what this is. It'll probably be in the thumbnail, so it won't be a mystery to you. We'll do this in fast motion. So if I didn't have to fast forward that, you would have been sitting there for 5 minutes. So I spared all of you. Oh my God, that was like bulletproof packing. Holy shiz. Okay, so what we have here is oh great, it's a project for me. Love projects. Look how filthy this is. This is dirty. Oh, I love it when they're dirty because I get to spend an hour. And like I said in previous videos, the idle mind is the devil's playground. And when you have nothing to do, boys and girls, you're stuck left with the thoughts in your head. Quite scary thoughts, I might add. And what we have here is another, you're probably sick of this already, another papal artifact, a Vatican bracelet from Pope Pius the 12th. This thing is so dirty. It is not even funny. I think I paid $10 for it. Really grand that I only, did I say grand? Really great that I paid only $10 for it, because now the fun begins with the SIMICHORME, which will be in the links in the description below, along with the polishing rag. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at how filthy this thing is close up. And sometimes you'll even get a year that these things were made. But yeah, this thing is filthy. Absolutely filthy. Let's look at it. Can we get a focus? Pious. Very pious. Okay. Can these things like even like give you some kind of privilege like to God? I sure hope so. Yeah, I feel like I'm a really bad sinner. And hopefully like by getting enough of these bracelets, if I wear them, perhaps I'll be forgiven by some unseen man that stands on a cloud up above in the sky. All right, so we got different, this is a panel bracelet. These were souvenir pieces. You would get them from the Vatican or perhaps a gift shop in Rome. And so each panel depicts a different major holy church. And if we can only zoom in and see what it says, because my camera doesn't like to do that. It's a Samsung S22, do not get that. That's San Giovanni. This one is, can you even read that? You could, oh, St. Pietro. We got Pope Pius, the Pontius Max. Pope Pius the 12th, that is. The next one is, it says, oh my God, I can't even see this. Something, Plavaria, wait, hold on, I'm going to have to zoom in here. Camera's not even going to probably zoom. Saint something, oh my God. Is that Maggiore? Maria Maggiore. I believe. You're going to probably correct me in the comments below. Yes, I know nothing about Catholicism or religion. My mother was Catholic. My dad was like, there's something up there. I used to say, Daddy, when I was a little kid, is there a God? When we die, are we going to go to heaven? You know what his answer was? And I used to get panic attacks. He used to say, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. Most likely, he said, I have a feeling there's got to be something. And then he'd say, how could something come out of nothing? How could all the stars in the sky come out of nothing? I believe there's something, he used to say. And I used to say, Dad, all right, I'm out of here. Like, his answer was not good enough for me. And my mom used to tell me the nuns used to beat her because in a Catholic high school, her skirts were too short and they would take rulers and beat her. And when she was a kid, they used to tell her she was going to hell, so she was terrified of going to church. And so she said to me, you don't have to go. If you don't want to, I'm not going to put you through what I went through. And that wasn't a good thing, because now I don't know if there's a God or not. I don't have strong faith. And yeah. All right. So that's San Paolo. It means St. Paul or something like that. Let's get the SIMICHORME out. I'm getting anxiety thinking about these thoughts. Yeah. Do you know religion gives me anxiety attacks? I don't care what religion it is. I get really bad anxiety from thinking about religion, because then I'm like, is there a God? Is there not a God? If you die, do you end up in a white room, like almost like a padded room, and you can't escape the room forever because God's mad at you? He thinks you're a real jerk. What if there's nothing? You close your eyes and there's nothing. Well, I don't like any of those answers. And what if you do go to heaven and you're there for eons and eons and eons? Aren't you going to get bored? You can't do eBay unboxings anymore. And then you don't need to eat anymore, right? So if you want to get your favorite food or Chinese or I don't know, a pizza pie, you can't get a pizza pie in heaven. All right. Let me clean this damn thing. I'm getting my gear on, which consists of my blue gloves, so I don't get mercury poisoning. There might have been mercury in the making of this when they thought mercury was safe, or maybe uranium when they thought it was a health elixir. So we're going to get the gloves on because I don't want to die of metal poisoning. So I was talking about religion and stuff. And so when I was a kid, right, I thought that if you went to church, you would be considered a good person. And so my mom, sure and shit, wasn't taking me. And my mom used to like to go out and party. Even though she had a full-time job in the night, she used to like to go out and party. She used to go to Studio 54, which was a discotheque. She used to go bowling. She was on late-night bowling leagues. Didn't come home till 2, 3 in the morning every single night. And I used to be left alone with my father, who was an introvert and had no empathy for children. And so my father would say children should be seen and not heard. And if I made one peep, he'd be like, it's bedtime. And so I'd have to go to bed because he'd always catch me being up. And so I thought that if I went to church, that God was going to favor me. And so when I was 6 or 7, when my dad used to be up at like 6 in the morning and go straight to work 7 days a week. He was always gone in the daytime. My mom would be sleeping till 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon. And it was on a weekend, of course, when church is around. And so I went around the corner to some elderly Irish people, the O'Connells. I'll never remember the O'Connells. They were like 80. And I knocked on their door. And I'm like, excuse me, can you do me a favor? I do know that you go to church every Sunday because I could see you at the same time every morning going in your car on the weekend. Are you going to church? And they're like, of course. And I'm like, can you take me with you? Yeah, a little kid. Isn't that freaking sad? Yeah, I was like, I think 5 or 6. Maybe the top 7 years old. And they used to take me, strangers, complete strangers that I really didn't know. I would just, my parents would just wave at them. They were just that type of neighbor. And I asked them to take me to church in their station wagon. And every Sunday I would bang on their door for them to take me to church. I thought it was a Catholic church. It was a Lutheran church. And so now I'm older and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know the differences between the different churches. That's how stupid I was. And after about 6 times, I got bored and I stopped banging on the O'Connell's door. And I thought I was going to hell because of that. All right, that's how bad my upbringing was and dysfunctional. Okay, and so, yeah. So now I'm trying to find something in my life that'll protect me. By the way, this is SIMICHORME. Links in the description below. It cleans all different kinds of metal. This is a polishing cloth. Again, links will be in the description below. So we're going to try to clean this. So you're going to put it comes with polish in the rag, but it's never enough. You're going to put like a little dollop of it. You want to put something under your counter. Here, we'll put the bubble wrap. And you want to do one spot first to make sure that there's no issue. There's going to be like no major issue. So we're going to start on the back. We're going to see, is this going to take the shiz off of here? And you're just going to make sure that SIMICHORME is on there. And it's going to, if it's filigree, it's going to get inside the filigree. At the end, you wash it with a toothbrush and Dawn dish detergent and rinse it off. It's really no problem. And so you're going to just do this for about another 30 to 40 minutes until you're satisfied. Because if you have bad anxiety issues like me, which includes OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder, you want everything to shine. I'll be back. Oh, by the way, the filth is coming off. It's getting much cleaner on the back. We'll do one panel together. And it looks like it's safe to use on here. But when I was a little kid, I didn't even know who Jesus Christ was. That's how much my mother kept me from religion because she thought it would harm me. And my grandmother took me to see Jesus of Nazareth in the movie theater. She was like a total Roman Catholic Italian. And I said, what are we going to, Grandma? And she said, we're going to see who God is today. And I'm like, God? What are you talking about? She's like, his name is Jesus Christ. And then I sat in the movie theater, and the part where he was dragging the cross behind him and people were spitting on him and spewing all kinds of like nasty remarks. And then they put the crown of thorns on him and told him he was the king of the Jews. And then they nailed him onto the cross. I was screaming. I was screaming bloody murder. My grandmother said, well, you need to know the suffering he went through in order to understand who your God is. And I'll never forget, it was the most torturous 2 hours or hour and a half of my life. And yeah, so I really got no proper religious upbringing. Adults really failed me. And so I'm afraid of dying all the time. I get panic attacks over existential crisis. What happens when you die? Are you just going to, I don't know, turn into dirt with worms? I hope not. But then I fear, what if there is somebody up there? And all the times I didn't go to church, and all the times I didn't behave myself, and I did, less than stellar things in my life, am I going to be punished for it? And if I'm going to be punished for it, I'm afraid to go to the bottom part, if you know what I mean, the place where there's fire and brimstone. But I don't want to go to heaven either. I just want to stay here. Even though it's suffering. It's nothing but suffering here on this earth. I'd rather just stay where I know. I know that I'm always going to suffer, right? But it's not suffering where it's that bad, where, I'm just like a hair away from wanting to, I don't know, close my eyes and never wake up ever again. But at the same time, it's not as bad. And so I'm in an existential crisis. I actually emailed my priest, my local priest, and I told him I was agoraphobic. Yeah, I have bad anxiety. I don't ever leave the house. And he said to me, I'll come to your house and teach you about Lord Jesus Christ and your religion. He was a Roman Catholic priest, and I never emailed him back. And as you can tell, I got scared. The minute he said he would come to the house and teach me the gospel of God and what have you, I got terrified. And maybe I'm afraid of the answer. So in the comments below, what do you believe? And don't scare me. Don't say, yeah, there's nothing but fire and brimstone. And I don't know, say something nice maybe. But what do you believe? All right, I'm going to clean this darn thing, and I'll be back in about, 96 minutes. All right, so the bracelet was made between 1939 and 1958. No way of knowing exact what year. I did clean it, as you can see here. Look how shiny it is. And it's a beautiful panel bracelet. Let's go ahead and lift it up and take a look at it. Now, it is nice and clean. Well, I mean, believe it or not, after I polished it for at least 45 minutes to an hour, I kept wiping it and more filth was coming off of it. I did also scrub it with Dawn dish detergent and a toothbrush. And so let's now check out the panels. And if my camera will focus, here we go. Look at this. It looks actually like brand new. And so this is at least, I'm going to go with 70 to 75 years old. Possibly even 80, don't know. But very hard to tell because there's no date. Some of these do have dates on them. They'll have a whole year. And if you look, this bracelet is nice and thick. Oh, hold on. I want to show you the hole in my glove. Here, we'll cover it with the bracelet. There we go. Yeah, I got SIMICHORME all over my sleeves. It's a real messy thing. But I'm telling you, you will love SIMICHORME. If and they're not paying me. The bastards are not paying me. I'm not being actually plugged. I'm not plugging them. I'm not making any money off of SIMICHORME. And if you do click on the link for Amazon, I might make 13 cents if you buy it. So yeah, it's really, it's not something like I'm making like barrels of money for recommending. Oh shit. For recommending it. So let's just put it on our little hand mannequin to show you how thick this is and how nice the bracelet looks when on a wrist. And that's so you heard the story of my life, part of it, as growing up as a child in a dysfunctional Italian American / my father being Scottish and Basque. We don't know if it's Basque French or Basque Spanish, but I did my DNA. My grandmother was a liar. And my grandfather, who was a bastard, who I thought was my grandfather, who was a bastard, turns out he's not my grandfather. Isn't that really grand? But my real grandfather on my dad's side was Basque. And I don't know French or Spanish, although it did say Spanish and French and half Italian and part Scottish. And so, yeah, no faith in my life. And that's what I don't understand. Like my husband, he's a really devout Roman Catholic. He'll say, you have to have faith. And I was like, well, if I don't see Jesus in front of me, I can't believe. And he's like, no, that's not how it works. How it works is you have to have faith. And I can't understand that. I guess I wasn't brought up, with any kind of religious capacity, because my mom told me, if you don't feel like going to church, you just don't have to go. And my dad was like, yeah, there's somebody up there, possibly, perhaps, maybe. And yeah. And so I'm trying to find something to make my anxiety go away. So basically, and the bad, horrible panic attacks that go on, and the bad thoughts in my head that loom with gloom and doom 24/7 if I'm not doing something. By the way, the whole time I was polishing this bracelet, I forgot I had anxiety. That's the beauty of collecting dirty antiques. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour and a half, you restore something, you clean something, you forget you have anxiety. The minute you're done, you're like, I forgot I had anxiety. And so I'm looking for something, and that's why I started collecting Vatican collectibles. I think maybe there'll be favor for me. If this is the correct God, and he's of the Catholic faith, he might have favor for me, and maybe less bad things will happen. It's a superstitious thing, us Italians. We're always superstitious. Yes, my mom wore the blue evil eye and the little pepper around her neck, and we had it hang in front of the steering wheel of the car, and she used to pin St. Anthony scapulars to my undershirt. But yet she never took me to church and told me that the nuns told her she was going to hell. So I got a lot of mixed messages, if you know what I mean. So write in the comments below, do you believe there's something that, you don't end up turning into worm stew? And don't tell people, well, if you don't do this, you're going to go to a fiery death. I hate when people do that crap. They come on my comments sometimes and say, you need to find Jesus Christ or else you can't get eternal life after death. And don't do that or I'll delete you. But just tell me, what do you think? What are your beliefs? I'd like to know. I'm curious. And trust me, I don't care what you are. Muslim, Jewish, Hare Krishna, I'll still love you all. All right, thanks for watching. See you guys all soon. And this was really a great buy at $10 hairs. A really beautiful bracelet that looks like brand spanking new now because of SIMICHORME. Description below, box underneath the video. We'll have links to buy that and that polishing cloth. But yeah, you can't get faith. There's no link for faith in there. I apologize, and so long.